Hello? Okay. Um, yeah, I think we're live. I don't know, let me check this real quick. Okay, we are live. So, um, hey guys. Welcome to my stream. And, well, yeah, welcome to my stream. And we're going to talk about some movies. As you can guess by the title, we're going to talk about movies of the month. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm just going to, talk about movies I saw this month. Doesn't have to be movies that were released this month, just movies I saw. um, and yeah, I just, you know, I've seen a total of 6 movies, or, well, 6 by default, because one of them I saw last year, but it was like the last day of last year, so it kind of counts. Um, yeah, I just want to talk about them, share my opinions, and if you guys want to share your opinions, then go ahead, and this could be fun. So, yeah, that's about it. I think that's a pretty good starting point. And yeah, here I have my list of all the movies I'm going to talk about. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, the first one we're going to talk about is Spy Kids. Um, a lot of you may know this movie. Apparently, it's very well known. I knew the movie. I didn't see it until the last day of 2017. So yeah, technically I saw this um, in 2017, but I want to talk about it anyway. So yeah, let's just talk about this movie. So yeah, if you didn't know, Spy Kids is a movie directed, written, and edited by Robert Rodriguez, and also produced by him with Elizabeth Abelan. And it also stars Antonio Banderas, Carla Guino, Alexa Vega, Daryl Zavara, Alan Cumming, Terry Hatcher, Chet Marin, Danny Trejo, Robert Patrick, Tony Shalhoub, and Mike Judge, as well as the score of the movie being composed by a lot of people, including Danny Elfman. So that's kind of cool, right? And it was released on 2001, March March 30, 2001. And yeah, this is a movie by the director, like I told you, Robert Rodriguez, and he's a very famous director, mostly because he does, for the most part, pretty good movies, or as I've heard of him making pretty good movies in a very low budget. Let me check. Yeah, 35 million is the budget of the movie, which, I mean, it is kind of, considering the age it was made, and the monotonous, just money hungry place that is Hollywood. 35 million is kind of a standard budget. But yeah, sadly, I haven't seen much of Robert Rodriguez movies, if any, so I can't really talk about him. However, I can talk about this movie. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't, and I guess I could just, uh, spell the plot for you who haven't seen it, not spoilers. I'm not gonna tell a lot of spoilers in any of the movies, but anyway. So yeah, the movie is basically about these 2 retired agents. One played by Antonio Banderas and some other chick. I think his name is Carla Guino, something like that. They're retired agents, and now they have 2 kids. And but then suddenly they realize that someone is capturing agents, either retired or working agents, and they had to try to figure it out, but they get caught themselves. So, in a desperate attempt um, the kids who they themselves are having bonding problems, which I guess is normal, um, have to go on a crazy adventure to try to save their parents, and they become spy kids. So yeah, that's basically the plot, or at least that's why I remember. Although I've seen it in probably a month. Yeah, in a month. A month and a day, considering this, I saw it in the last day of 2017. This is the last day of January of 2018. So, yeah, these movies, for the most part, a lot of people I do think, for a lot of people I know, think the movie's pretty good. However, I don't know what score has the movie in. For example, I think in IMDb has like a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it has a 5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, I don't know. I'm looking it up as we speak. But sadly, I couldn't get into this movie. I just didn't like it at all. Um, I don't think it's an awful movie. There's certainly things to like about it, and there is kind of a charm to it. However, I really didn't like this movie, and did I miss? Maybe because I don't know. I really well, I do know why I didn't like it, but um, for example, the kid actors and the acting in general, while not bad, I didn't consider it good either. At least what I can for what I can remember. Um, it's not very. I don't remember like one of the actors having like very good acting, especially the kids. The kids, I know they're kids, so I shouldn't be too harsh about them. But I didn't like their acting at all. They were too awkward. Ooh, look at that. Has 93% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics anyway. The audience has 46. So I guess this is another Last Jedi Star Wars thing where the audience and the critics are divided. But yeah, I'm surprised it has 93%. Maybe because it is just a simple, lighthearted movie that because Rotten Tomatoes is supposed to do like go watch it or don't go watch it. I guess most people weren't. It's fun, I guess. Watch it, and I don't know. I don't think I would see it again. I don't know. I think the acting and a lot of the story was a little bit awkward. The visual effects, while I think they're bad, they're pretty. And I guess that's the point because I think I know like I said, Robert Rodriguez is known for having these very low budget movies, and really the only thing that does kind of quote unquote save the movie from its bad effects is that the visual effects, while not good, they certainly look very, very fake and very dumb. They are visually interesting, even if some of them don't look even if they don't look good and some of them even look kind of weird. They do they are very imaginative. So and I guess I can say that the movie that it's a very imaginative movie. I guess I could say that. And but yeah, everything else, I don't know. I thought the story was not bad, but very generic. Um, the acting was pretty. It went from mad to kind of awkward. The story was a little awkward. I think I literally just said that. I'm sorry. The effects again, they're pretty bad, but they're imaginative. It's visually interesting. Um, um, the score I don't really remember, right? Which is weird considering it's from Danny Elfman, and Danny Elfman is a fucking genius. But yeah, I mean, I just see it as a very forgettable movie. Um, but yeah, I do know that a lot of people have a soft spot for this movie. Like one of those, it's just so simple, lighthearted that just put it just because. Um, I guess I could understand. I mean, it is harmless. It's not like a terrible movie. It's not even that bad. I mean, yeah, it's not even like really bad. It's just I just think it's an average mediocre movie. um, I don't know. I really didn't enjoy this movie, and if you like it, good. Like I said, I heard a lot of people really like this. Would I watch it again? Not really. Should you watch it? I mean, I personally didn't enjoy it, but if you are interested, just go ahead. Sure. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're gonna enjoy it. I'm just gonna say sure. But I will probably recommend you a movie I think is better. But if like your kids are like, yeah, I wanna see this movie real bad, then fuck it, just let them watch it. I mean, it is harmless enough. It is imaginative. They'll keep them trained. It will keep them entertained. So, yeah, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this movie like a 5, or just like a 5. Yeah, 5 mediocre. I don't know. Like for me, 5 is yeah mediocre. So yeah, just I didn't like the movie. So yeah, I think that's about it for Spy Kids. Up next we have The Disaster Artist. So this is technically the first movie I saw this year. I saw it on uh, on the first weekend of the year with my brother. Um, hey bro, if you're watching this. Yeah, but I saw it with my bro, and I was very a lot of people. There was a lot of buzz from this movie. First of all, because it is based on what is considered the Citizen Kane of bad movies, The Room. And if you don't know anything about The Room, then shame on you, because yeah, I should really just yeah, I should no, yeah, I should really just talk about what the plot is if you don't know what the Disaster Artist is, or The Room is, or who's Tommy, or whatever. Um, so yeah, hold on a second. Um, this is so unprofessional. This is so unprofessional. I mean, I'm recording this in a fucking PlayStation 4, and I was thinking of maybe putting a game in the background, but um, that would pretty much just distract me. Well, not distract me, but at least distract you. And I think that's pretty tedious when people do that. But not as tedious as this. Just nothing. Just this dumb PlayStation thing. But you know what? Whatever. I want to talk about movies. No one's gonna fucking stop me. So whatever. I'm sorry if the quality is shit, but sorry. But yeah. I hope you enjoy me ramble about movies. Yeah, yeah. See, it almost has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, and it is nominated for best adapted screenplay on the Oscars, and I think it won best actor in the Golden Globes. Which, by the way, I understand why they wouldn't give an Oscar nomination to James Franco, because for all the allegations against him, and whether or not they're actually true or not, which I don't know. Come on, like he at least deserves to be nominated. His acting was amazing as Tommy, but I'll get that to later. So yeah, I'm sorry it took that long to get to the fucking movie, but here we go. So yeah, The Disaster Artist is directed, produced, and stars James Franco, and is written by Scott Neil Stadler and Michael H. Weber, and is based off the it's based off the book by Greg Sestero and Tom Bissell, The Disaster Artist. And like I said, it stars James Franco, his brother Dave Franco, Seth Rogen, Alison Brie, Ari Graynor, Josh Hutcherson, and Jackie Weaver. It was distributed by A24 and Warner Brothers, and was released March 12th. Well, okay, it was released in a festival, I think, on March 12th, 2017, and was released in the US on December 8th of 2017. So yeah, I just noticed this has a way big lower budget than Spy Kids. I think it only has like 10 million. Okay, whatever. Let's just talk about this movie. So, if you don't know the story, although I don't know why, if you know anything about film, you have to know about The Room, but whatever. The story is again based on the book by Greg Sestero and Tom Bissell, and it's about the story of Greg Sestero's point of view of how his life was before and in the making of The Room, which, like I said, is considered one of the worst movies of all time, but in a way that it's so bad that it's actually amazing. If you don't know what I mean, it's basically a term. So bad it's good movies, or it's a term for movies that are so just complete train wrecks that are entertaining as hell. So yeah, so basically, yeah, the story is about how Greg first met Tommy Wiseau, which is the guy who pretty much did the movie. He directed it, written, produced, and stars in The Room, Mr. Tommy, and basically his friendship with this guy, and how the movie The Room was made. And the thing is, Tommy is a weird ass motherfucker. Because if you've seen it on interviews, which I'm probably there have, because again, the buzz this movie is getting, and the movie The Room, it's super weird, and that's what makes it so great. And the movie is basically about the friendship between these two and the making of the movie. So yeah, I was pretty excited about this movie because while I haven't completely seen The Room, the original Room, I'm known. I think I know pretty much everything about it. Well, not everything, but I've seen a lot of it. I've seen like 50% of the movie thanks to clips that you can find on YouTube. And I've seen interviews. I've seen like people's reactions on screenings. I've seen reviews about it, like people from like Chris Stockman, I Hate Everything, or the Nostalgia Critic. And it's just the Room. While I haven't seen it, and I think they're gonna finally like release it worldwide. Like maybe they're gonna put it on Netflix or on an actual proper Blu-ray or something. I am fascinated by that movie because, again, from what I've seen, the movie sucks ass. But yeah, like everybody says, it sucks ass in an interesting and hilarious way because it's so awkward and weird, and Tommy's acting and writing, it's so phenomenally strange that you just can't help but watch it over and over because it's so hilarious. So again, I was excited for this movie, and I wasn't disappointed at all. Like I legitimately think this is a great movie. Yeah, because number one, the one thing that everybody's talking about is James Franco as Tommy, and how it's almost creepy how close he is to Tommy. At least he's acting. And yeah, they're absolutely right. James Franco is terrifying as Tommy Wiseau. He gets the mannerisms, the voice. It's just so weird and yet so surreal and so interesting. And The other characters are also portrayed pretty good. Dave Franco as Greg Sestero. Well, I don't think Dave Franco's voice for Greg isn't really how Greg sounds. Not just now, but in the room. Um, I do think as an acting, like just as an acting as a person, he's pretty good. I do. There is a very believable friendship between these two, even sorry, even if it is a very strange friendship, a very fucking weird one. But yeah, and the acting aside from James Franco, I mean, I'm not saying aside because it's bad. I'm saying aside because compared to the other ones, they're shit. Like the acting is pretty good for the most part, but like comparing to Tommy, it's just surreal. But yeah, I thought it was very hard. It was very heartwarming. It wasn't just hey, remember this scene from the room? Yeah, it's funny, right? I mean, they do that, but that's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is, like I said, the friendship between Tommy and Greg, and yeah, and it's a very heartwarming movie about just two people who want to just 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 want to be stars in Hollywood, but they can't because they suck. So they say, you know what, fuck it. Like if no one is gonna um, give us a job, then we'll make our own job, and we'll make our own movie. And it's just a movie about dream, like in a lot of ways that I see La La Land as a movie about dreams and dreamers and people just want to succeed and whatever the hell they want to do. Um, this movie is exactly that. It most certainly didn't come out as the way they intended it to be, but that's what makes it so interesting. Like it's not just like it's now a lot of people saw the room about like this dumbass movie that it's so bad that it's good, and now people are gonna see it as um, a movie like a dumbass movie that is so bad it's good, but it's also a product of two people who just wanna dream and make movies because it's fun to make movies. And yeah, in terms of problems with the movie, I don't have any, except for the girlfriend character for Greg, which is it's not a bad character, and I know, and it feels weird saying a character because she technically was a person that existed, but yeah, I thought her to be very not important to the story and very forced, and yeah, so I know you had to put it in there because again it's a real story, which yeah I have to express. Like I know I'm saying this whole time comparing to the room and something like that, but a lot of people are gonna watch this and gonna be like what the hell is James Franco doing? Like that can't be a real person, but it is. They're gonna be so surprised and so shocked when they find the real Tommy Wiseau and the real Greg and how this almost cartoony story actually existed, and there's an actual uh, terrible movie like this. So yeah, I think the acting is pretty good. Um, um, yeah, I don't think I can say anything else. In terms of problems, like I said, the only thing I have is the girlfriend, and the score is pretty forgettable. I have to say. Although I don't think the score is what they care to do. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. It's directed well. Um, so yeah, it's a very heartfelt story, and would I watch it again? Probably. I mean, just for seeing James Franco's Tommy, because it's so fun to see, and yeah, and just I just really liked it. I heard that James is actually like James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, actually said this is his favorite movie that has come out this decade, and that really surprises me. Like I didn't see the movie before that, so I was really excited, and while I don't think it's one of the best movies that come out of the decade, I do think it is one of the best of the year 2017. Like I'll maybe put it in my top 10. Like not very high because this movie isn't like super great or something like that, but it is a pretty heartfelt movie. And yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else that I can talk about. Um, yeah. So that's about it. For disaster stories at least. And I guess the only thing I could talk about is again, even I talked that over and over, is the James Franco's character Tommy, which I really like that they really kept the mystery behind Tommy Wiseau, because Tommy is again a very weird, controversial, mysterious person, and pretty much one of the most weird persons that are alive now, or ever existed ever. So I really like a lot of people, like they had to keep the mystery because again Tommy doesn't say shit about who he is or where he comes from or something like that. And I really like how they do acknowledge it, that yeah, Tommy can be a dick and Tommy can be mysterious and something like that, but he's also can be very sweet, and at the end of the day, it's just a guy who has a dream of making movies. So yeah, and like I said, his friendship with Greg, and how Greg is pretty much the only one who can understand it, and even he sometimes is having trouble keeping on with him because, like I said, Tommy's such a weird fucking person. But yeah, so yeah, a really good movie. I would give it maybe a 8 out of 10. Yeah, so for me, 8 guys. For yeah, I mean it's a pretty good movie, and should you see it, definitely. So yeah, that's about it for the disaster artist. Go see it, 8 out of 10. That's about it. And yeah, so I guess that's about it for the disaster artist. Okay. I don't know if I'm actually like I just realized maybe I've been for like talking about this for like 20 fucking minutes, and I don't know if me just rambling like an idiot or I'm actually making points, which is probably the first one. But hey, it's fun. So yeah, on the next one on the list is Your Name. Some a lot maybe a lot of you don't. Well, okay, maybe a lot of you have heard of this movie. Probably because as of right now, if I'm not wrong, it is the highest grossing Japanese movie ever made, which is crazy. So yeah, so you probably, like I said, this is a very popular movie because of that, and with that combined with my sister really liking it and really recommending it to me, I was curious, especially how I haven't seen a long anime in a long time ago. Like I think like the last time I saw anything anime related was when I saw the the new Sword Art Online movie with my friend. Check it. I think it's called Ordinal Scale. I remember enjoying it, like good, okay movie. Um, but yeah, so I was interested about this movie, so let's talk about it. So yeah, first I'm gonna give you the details. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Your Name, or Kimi no Nawa, I think that's how you say his name in Japan, Kimi no Nawa. I don't know anything about Japan, although I would love to go. It is directed and written by Makoto Shinkai, sorry if I spelled that wrong, produced by Noritaka Kawaguchi and Genki Kawamura. Again, that's I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. It was also edited by the same guy, Makamoto Shinkai, and the cinematography was also made by him. It was composed by apparently a popular band in Japan called Ratwimps, and it stars shit. I don't want to butcher any of these names, but I'm probably will. I'm so sorry. So it stars Ryunosuke Kamiki, Moni Kamishira. What? I feel like an asshole. I'm butchering these names, but whatever. Moni Kamishiraishi, Masami Nagasawa, Etsuko Ichihara, Ryo Narita, Aoi Yuki, Nobunanga Shimasaki, Kaito Ishikawa, and Kanon Tani. Wow, that was hard. I'm so sorry. And yeah, that's everything. And the story, a very original story. I have to say, it's about these two guys. This guy and this girl. The guy, his name is Taki, and the girl is Mirobushi. I think her name is. Hold on. Mirobushi. I don't know. This Japanese names are weird. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Mitsusha. There we go. Mitsusha. No, Mitsuha. Mitsuha. There we go. Jeez, I suck at spelling names. But yeah, the story about these two people, this guy Taki and this girl, fuck my life. I can't even say a name. Mitsuha. And out of nowhere, suddenly, they swap. Like they're two people who don't even know each other. They're not even in the same city. One of them is in Tokyo, and the other one is and the girl is in the in a little village, close to a lake. And so yeah, and then suddenly, from whatever reason, they saw bodies one day. And so basically, yeah, Mitsuha swaps to Taki's body, and Taki swaps to Mitsuha's body. And of course, it's fucking weird. And it happens, and they start to realize this happens more than once. It happens at least 3 times a week that they keep swapping into bodies, and they don't know why this is happening, but they're like, whatever. So they start to getting like finding a way to live their life with this constant body swapping, and in that weird ass relationship, they come across wonderful people, and they themselves. And if I go any further, I'm gonna spoil the movie, so I'm not gonna go further. And that's pretty much the story. It's about these two people who swap bodies, and they get to know each other in a very weird way. So yeah, so the first thing I had to say about this movie is that it's original. I mean, swapping bodies, like, an idea has been done to death, but as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen a movie that, and at least I've never seen a romance being portrayed with swapping bodies, with body swap, which is, again, it's a very original and very creative idea. And yeah, so it is a very creative way to telling a romance. So yeah, but like I said, like, oh, okay, so what is this movie about? Why does this movie, it's fucking everywhere? What is it about? And I know why. because I swear when I'm saying this, I'm not joking. This might be one of the best animated movies I've seen in these 2 decades. Well, 1 decade and a half, with 2 years. Um, and maybe even one of the best animated movies I've ever made, I ever seen. Um, because damn, I was surprised about this movie. Um, the animation, it's fucking fantastic. Which I know it's silly saying it now because at least animated movies, even the shitty ones, are expected to look at least nice. But this is a special. Um, this is a special one because this is a hand drawn movie, which is obvious because it's anime. But but the thing is, hand drawn animation has kind of been dying recently, and only anime and some very few films have trying to keep the fire alive, if you will. And I mean, when you realize that the last hand drawn animated movie that was released, not counting anime, was the fucking My Little Pony movie. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So yeah, so this is a special movie because yeah, like I said, hand drawn animation isn't really anymore. Like it isn't really here anymore. It's kind of been completely overshadowed by 3D animation, which I'm not against. I also love 3D animation. I think there's a lot of talent put into it. Pixar movies look fucking amazing, so I'm not gonna complain about it. But I also think I myself prefer hand drawn animation more, and I do think it has to come back. And I'm pretty sure. I don't know if like this movie is gonna help to kind of bring back the genre, if which technically isn't a genre, but whatever. Because the animation and the visuals in this movie are fantastic. Like one of the best animation I've ever seen. It's so big, and from what I heard, this director, this guy, is very known for this kind of cinematography, like this kind of drawings that are so breathtakingly orgasmic that sometimes you're not even paying attention to what the characters are saying because they had the background so fucking beautiful. And yeah, so the animation is amazing, both for the backgrounds and for the characters. I think it's pretty well made. Um, the characters themselves are pretty likable. I think there is a very strong bond that you do get to like and grow with this couple. It is, and while they haven't even like they know and they don't know each other at the same time because like they know each other because they've literally been in each other and lived their both lives like Mitosuha, I think I should say his name, has been in Taki's life and the other way around. But again, it's so surreal because even though they both been in each other's bodies, they never once shared a word aside from little texts they sent to their own phones. And yeah, it is pretty. Like I said, it's a very creative way of telling a story in a romance, and you do and the twist of the movie. I'm not gonna give it away if you haven't seen it. I didn't see it coming at all, and it did feel like I was stressed while watching this movie, and like it was one of the few times where I was watching a movie and I was like when I see a movie there's a romance or something like that, I'm sure they'll get together and the end is gonna be nice and whatever. This movie is one of the few movies I've ever seen where I'm just like, if this couple doesn't get along, I'm gonna fucking kill someone. Because damn, I feel the stress and I feel the emotions, and like I said, in the last third, surprisingly intense, and like surprisingly the movies does get intense. Um, but yeah, so the characters are wonderful. The animation is fantastic. The acting, like the voiceover from the people, even though I don't understand jack shit or whatever they're saying, at least without reading just the subtitles, I do feel the emotion in their voices. So I do have to congratulate the actors. The actors I can't say their name of because I'm sorry, but I don't want to butcher their names. I can't even say the name of one of the main characters when I'm butchering it. Um, so yeah, so I was really impressed by this movie. If you're curious about it, or just like I said, you really want to see it, or just curious about what's the fuss about, go watch it. It's gonna blow your. I don't know if it's gonna blow your mind like it did to mine, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a pretty good time. A pretty good time. I would see it again, probably. I would probably see it again just because I loved it so much. Um, the score, I forgot to tell. The score is made by this band. I think it's called Rat Wimps, which I guess is a. I think it's a very. I don't know if it's a very popular Japanese band, but it's a Japanese band. That's why I know. And the music, it's like their score is pretty fantastic. Like I don't know if like it's I don't know if I consider it fantastic, even though I just said it, but I really liked it. And I thought it was pretty good because I don't think like if that this has I'm this has been well this has been done before. Like I know like bands composing music for animes isn't really that rare, and I do think, and even for Americans, I think it has happened before. I think because like I think Daft Punk composed the score for Tron, the new one, which by the way is a pretty good score again. But yeah, so I do think it's a very refreshing movie. It's a very heartwarming movie, heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. Because like I said, like the first half of the movie is fine and delightful, and it is kind of fun, and everything from there just gets fucking intense, but in a good way, in a way that makes me care about the characters. So yeah, go see this movie. It's amazing. The animation is incredible. Um, the acting is good. Everything about it's just pretty damn good. So yeah, if I would rate this movie, I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10, which maybe might sound crazy, but believe me, I would like surely give this movie a 10 out of 10 because it's so awesome. But yeah, so if you haven't seen this movie, please check it out, and that's about it from Your Name. Fucking awesome movie. So yeah, and I guess that's how all I have to say about Your Name. Just go and watch. I shouldn't even say anything. Just fucking watch it, okay? But yeah. So now I'm going to talk about Good Time. Some of you might heard of this movie. Hold on, let me check. Maybe not a lot of you because I don't know. I haven't seen this movie being released. I mean, for me at least, I'm from Mexico, so I haven't seen this movie really in theaters that much. I mean, I saw it in two, two, three theaters, and I'm pretty sure it's not really that much of a wide release when it comes to the United States. But maybe some of you have heard of this movie because um, it is getting some buzz about it. It is uh, I don't know. It stars Robert Pattinson, the Twilight guy. So has to know. At least some of you have to know where this movie goes, and a lot of people have been praising it, calling it one of the best movies of the year, including Chris Tuckman. And I also think that Your Movie Sucks also said this. I really enjoyed this. They really enjoyed this. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about Good Time. Alright, so yeah, I just looked it up. So Good Time is directed by the Safdie brothers. I mean, I assume they're brothers because they have the same um, um, last name. Um, it's also and it's written by John Safdie and Ronald Brunstein. Brunstein, sorry. It is edited by Ben Safdie and the same guy, Ronald Brunstein. It is distributed by A24, and it's produced by these guys, Sebastian Bermkarl, I think that's his name, Oscar Boyson, Terry Douglas, Paris Casido Costas Latsis. Very interesting last name. And finally, it stars Robert Pattinson, like I said, Jennifer Jason Leigh, one of the Safdie brothers, Ben Safdie, Barhad Abdi, and Buddy Duris. And essentially, this movie is pretty basic. To be fair, it's just about the story about this guy. I don't remember the name of the guy. I'm so sorry, but it's the guy played by Robert Pattinson. Coney, there we go. Coney, it's and his brother Nick, played by one of the Safdie brothers, and it's about the story of these two and how Nick is mentally challenged. His brother is mentally challenged, and Coney tries to help him and shit like that, and they try to perform a bank robbery. And at first it goes well, but then they ultimately get caught, or at least Nick gets caught, and Connie gets to go away, but he really loves his brother, so he's gonna try everything he can to try to get his brother out from jail. And that's pretty much the movie. So this movie, the first thing I have to say about this movie, it's dark as hell. It's gritty, it's violent. Robert Pattinson's character Coney is a total asshole. Like, he's one of those characters. Like, I really like protagonists, like main characters who aren't exactly like I like when a main character is the bad guy, because it does put a new perspective into the movie. And Coney, the Robert Pattinson character that he's playing, outside he doesn't have any redeemable qualities. Like, the only thing that's quote unquote redeemable of him is that he really loves his brother, and he will do anything to get him out of jail. But other than that, he's a total scumbag. And like I said, I meant from what I meant. He will do anything for his brother. I do mean literally. He will kill, lie, manipulate, and use other people just to get his brother out. And so, like I said, this movie is dark as hell. But I really liked that. I really liked the very realistic, gritty perspective of this movie. Robert Pattinson does a great job representing this complete asshole of a character. Like I said, I am glad that Robert Pattinson has just, because what happens to a lot of these actors is that, like I said, Robert Pattinson is the vampire guy from Twilight, and I'm glad that he's over with the franchise. And now that he's over with the franchise, he can just do whatever fucking weird movie he wants. As Brad Jones put it, like, now he's done with the franchise, he do whatever weird ass movie he wants, and he does a pretty damn good job in this movie, portraying this character, and a lot, and but especially it's also Ben Safdie, I think the name is the character. He portrays his brother, the brother he's trying that Coney's trying to get out, which and I really had gotta give him props for that because, well, I don't know if Ben Safdie is actually mentally challenged. I don't think so, but if he, like I said, if he isn't, he did a pretty fucking good job at portraying someone who has that mental illness, or at least has, those people who, just aren't. I don't want to say they aren't very smart because I feel like I'm insulting a lot of people by saying that. So, but you know what I mean, like those people, like I'm trying to find a way of describing them. Well, I'm trying to find a way of describing them without sounding like an ass. But people who are mentally challenged, that's it. He does a pretty good job, man, of interpreting this person who is mentally challenged, and you can see the pain in his eyes and just the confusion, and how he's so scared about whatever he is. So again, a pretty good job, a great job from that guy and Robert Pattinson. The other actors are also perfectly fine too. There's this guy who ends up in Coney's adventure, in quotes, because, like, I don't want to spoil the movie, although this isn't really a spoiler movie. Whatever. Like, this is a movie that even if I told you the story, you would still enjoy it. But I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna do that. But basically, while trying to get out his brother Coney, he accidentally gets out some other douche, and this douche, I can't remember neither the character or the actor's name, but it's basically this guy who got pretty much high, and got stuck in Coney's adventure, and he also does a pretty good job. I really liked his acting and the character, sort of this pretty much pathetic dumbass who just got high and suddenly he's in jail. And yeah, like I said, this is a very dark movie and a very greedy one. And but I really respect it from it. The score, it's pretty good. It's pretty. I really like the atmosphere that the score gave it to it, and so yeah, I really like that. And other than that, it's written well. The directing is definitely there. Um, yeah, should you watch this movie? Sure, it is entertaining. It is certainly a lot better than a lot of these thrillers. It is very different and a lot better. So I would definitely tell you to check this one out. As a rating, like if I'll give it a rating, I will give it like an 8 out of 10. Would I watch it again? Maybe. Maybe I would, just because it is very easy to watch. In quotes, not, because it's not very easy to watch for some people, like for people who just are not just feel uncomfortable with this kind of movies, which I know is the point of the movie, but yeah, so maybe I'll watch it again just for the fun of it. So yeah, definitely check this one out. So yeah, that's about everything I have to say from Good Time. 8 out of 10. Good movie. Good 8 out of 10. Solid movie from the Safdie brothers. So that's about it. And now I'm gonna look at the almost final movie. Almost, because there's one last movie I'm gonna talk about after this one. And that movie is, hold on, checking on my little paper. What is Cloverfield? A lot of you may recognize this movie. It came out in 2008. It's about a monster that invades New York. That's about it. That's about it. That's the review. Next. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So I'm looking it up. A lot of you may recognize this movie. Um, it was a very talked about movie, and it is a very talked about universe apparently, because the only reason I saw this movie is because a YouTuber I follow called Caja de Películas, he's in Spanish. um, he said in his list of most anticipated movies for this year that he's really anticipating the third movie of this apparent universe, which is called the God Particle, and apparently has to do with this one as well as the sequel that came out last year called 10 Cloverfield Lane, I think is what it's called. And he said that there's a very rich, very ingrained universe in there, and I love shit like that, so I was curious. And it was the first time I ever heard about anything of this, um, so yeah, I was going to this movie almost completely blind, like I said, like only knowing basic stuff. Like he said in his list, that if you know things like the pages of Slusho and Tagrato, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But so yeah, I was just seeing this movie as um, pure curiosity. However, I wasn't expecting like being like super duper into the universe, because they have told me that the universe that is inside this movie, and the franchise and shit, it is pretty hidden. Like it is very hidden and very cryptic, and I love that kind of stuff. But I also wanted to just enjoy this movie as a movie. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that now. Um, so yeah, here we go. Cloverfield. It was directed by Matt Reeves, produced by J.J. Abrams and Brian Burke. That was a notification from Messenger. Ignore that. Written by Drew Goddard, edited by Kevin Sitt, released in January 18, 2008. So the movie is 10 years old. Holy shit. And it stars Lizzie Kaplan, Jessica Lucas, T.J. Miller, Michael Stahl David, Mike Bogle, and Odette Justman. And the story, it's even more simple and basic and yet very weird. The story is about how this group of teens, they're celebrating some friends' goodbye. Like this friend's gonna work in a company in a different country, and they're making like a little goodbye party. It's filmed like one of those found footage movies. They're just filming the whole party and shit, and having a good time. Then suddenly, boom! The power goes out for a couple of seconds, and they realize, shit, there's a giant monster invading New York. It's gonna kill everyone, and they had to find a way to get out of there and also save a friend who's stuck in one building from before this monster pretty much, well, not more like before the government destroys pretty much Manhattan, because the monster is just so fucking big. And yeah, so that's basically the story. A giant monster invades New York in a fan footage movie about like a group of 4 or 5 teens, and that's it about the story. So yeah, did I like this movie? Yeah, I thought it was very entertaining to watch. Aside from the first half, which it is just, yeah, again, the party just going on, everybody having a good time. And while it's not boring and it's not like dreadful or anything, it is kind of, you know, a little like, I don't know how to say I don't know the word, but like, because you know that this movie isn't just about this couple of teens having a good time, and you know that the movie's about a fucking monster who destroys everything. You are just kind of left waiting, patient. Like, okay, so I'm entertained. The teen characters are not that bad, but where's the fucking monster coming? It's kind of like Doki Doki Literature Club, where like the first half of the game is just plays out like a normal dating sim, and while it's fine, and it's fun, and it's entertaining, because shit's going down in a very weird way. You're kind of waiting for it. You're kind of like, okay, where's the real shit starting? So that is kind of a little annoying, just a little annoying, and I know they can't just, like, the movie starts and just, ooh, there's the monster. So I know that's the point, but it is kind of tempting, and it is okay to watch. Like, the characters are okay. Um, I like this idea. I really like the idea of the perspective of, like, it's not like the perspective of a soldier who's trying to kill the thing, and while there has been like survival stories, this one is different because it feels real, because there is no music, although at least until the party scenes, which is just a bunch of pop songs. Which, by the way, I was really happy. Like, it didn't have to do anything with the story, but I was really happy when the song, I can never say the name of the song very, like specifically, because it's just a bunch of numbers, but it is a Gorilla song from their first album, Gorillaz. I think it's 1920 or something like that, 19,020 or something like that. So, like, apart from, so I was pretty, I was just delighted, just because, oh, there's a Gorilla song, cool. But yeah, aside from the party scenes and um and the end credits, there is no soundtrack. Like, it is just this two, this four, like, there are just two guys just having a party, and then suddenly, oh shit, um, the head of the I can't remember the name of the Statue of Liberty just flew over our building. Damn, what are we gonna do now? So yeah, the characters are okay. Like, I like them enough. Do you do kind of feel bad when they die? I mean, mostly because they are very horrible and very anticlimactic deaths. Like I said, I'm not gonna say how or who or whatever, because I don't like saying spoilers. But if you, this movie has been out. Not only has this movie been out for like 10 years, but also, in this kind of movies, in this kind of monster movies, you know that at least one of the group people are gonna die. Like, that's just a given. But yeah, I guess you do grow to kind of like the characters, and and you do feel bad for them when they get thrown in this very shitty situation. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't really like. I'm not really having a good time when a fucking monster is destroying my place, and so yeah, I think the visual effects they're not very good looking. They're not bad, but they're also not very good. But it does have this distinct, like, the monster. It is distinct enough and it does have cool ideas. So yeah, I like that part. The one thing I can praise about this movie is that it's intense as shit. It is very intense, because like I said, there are no like jump scares or something like that, or not even like a music building up the scare or whatever. It's just like when the monster is like close to them doing very fucked up shit. It's not the score is not like, ooh, look at this monster, ooh, or something. It's just seeing this monster doing this horrible stuff, and just everybody trying to run away from it, and the horror. Like I said, like the only thing you can hear is the monster groans, the building is getting completely torn apart, and the people screams, and that just really startled me. Like, because like screams in general like startle me or something, but like screams in general startle me for like every time. It's just kind of a thing I have, like when somebody screams, and it's not like a funny scream or even just like a scream that keeps you on guard, like a scream of horror and not knowing what the fuck is going on. It is very intense, and I really like about this movie, that it feels intense and it feels real. And yeah, the story again, like I said, is pretty basic, but it does work in its favor. The acting is pretty good. I mean, the characters themselves are okay, but I think the actors are pull off very well. I mean, they're not like great actors, like super good acting, but it is good enough. It is good enough to that you can say, "Oh, I'm hearing someone who's terrified for their life," and that's enough. So yeah, the acting isn't super good, but it is good enough. And again, like I said, you kind of grow to like these people and feel bad about them. And yeah, I think that's about it. The cinematography, while it is very funny to talk about cinematography in a found footage movie, because everything is so shaky and runny, because like I said, it is some guy just recording something while they're running away. But like I said, it feels real. Um, it does have that one, like, even though it's in in the poster and the trailer, it is one of the, if not the most memorable thing about the movie. Just the head of the Statue of Liberty just getting flown in front of the characters. It is a very greedy and very shocking imagery. This movie does have like very shocking imagery, and yeah, I think that's about it about Cloverfield. Would I watch it again? Maybe, maybe just for the fun of it, and just to waste some time and just have a good time for a while. It will be, although it will be a lot more fun watching with someone. I mean, most movies here, with the exception of the Disaster Artist and technically Spy Kids, I saw all of the movies I'm talking right now. I saw alone. Like I said, with the exception of Disaster Artist and Spy Kids. So it will be fun to see with somebody else, just to see how fucking startled they are. So yeah, this movie's good. I liked it. It was intense. It was greedy. It was a perfectly good monster movie. A rating, I will give it a rating. Maybe a 7, maybe a 7.5. Like 7, good. For me, 7 is good. Just good movie. Maybe even 7.5. So yeah, that's everything about Cloverfield. And now we're getting to the end of this long ass stream of me rambling about it like an idiot from of a bunch of movies. And I'm going to talk about the last movie. Any guesses? I mean, I guess any guess is valid, seeing how I'm talking about any movie. But yeah, it is a very maybe like well, okay, maybe you haven't even seen like maybe a bunch any of these movies you haven't even seen coming just because again it's such a random list. It's just a bunch of movies I saw this month. But yeah, it is another animated one, and it's called Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. This was the last movie I saw this month. I saw it technically for a school project. So, because I had to talk about your favorite Disney movie, and I was originally going to talk about Fantasia, but I couldn't find a way to watch it. It's not on Netflix, not on YouTube. At least it's very weird how it is on YouTube, and it's not on any other um, like streaming service that is not Netflix. So I only have to buy it to see it. So I was, and then my mom and pretty much my family asked me if I could talk about this movie. Why? Because surprisingly and oddly enough, out of all the Disney movies, this one is the one I have the strongest bond with. Because I think everyone has that one movie that uh I'm so sorry. Everyone has that one movie that they saw as a kid 1 million times, and their parents watch it with you 1 million times. And it could be any movie, at least any kids movie. Although unless you as a kid always watch your parents fucking Alien or Friday the 13th. I don't know. If you have, then you have a very interesting life. But yeah, so I guess everybody has that one movie which just saw as a kid like a bajillion times, and that movie for me was Lilo and Stitch. At least from what I can tell from my parents, and seeing how, like I said, this movie was I saw it many times as a kid, and just pretty much, um, yeah, I saw it like 1 million times as a kid, and also and I was all like I said I saw it as a kid when I was like 4 or maybe 3, and since then I haven't seen it, so I haven't seen the movie pretty much in 12 years, so I could barely remember it, and from the stories my parents told me, they are pretty embarrassing. I was curious. I was like, all right, what's this movie about? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so Lilo and Stitch is directed by Chris Sanders and D.M. DeBlois. It is also written by these two. It is also produced by Clark Spencer. The story is from Chris Sanders, and the music is by Alan Silvestri. It's edited by Darren T. Holmes. It was released in June 21, 2002, and it stars Chris Sanders, Davey Chase, Tia Carrere, David Ogden Stiers, Kevin McDonald, Bing Rams, Kevin Michael Richardson, Jason Scott Lee, and Zoe Caldwell. So yeah, that's pretty much the the details about the movie. And if you don't know the story, it's about this our genetic monstrosity called experiment number I don't remember. Hold on, let me look up. It's basically Stitch, but originally his name is experiment 626. That's the name. Yeah, I remember it, kinda, sorta, not really, but yeah, I knew that name from somewhere. But yeah, so experiment 626 Um, it's a genetic monstrosity created by an evil scientist, and the evil scientist gets caught, and by the intergalactic government. This sounds really strange now. I'm describing it now, but bear with me. It's Disney. Who cares? And they want to banish the monstrosity because it's the monstrosity, and because the monstrosity, it's only designed to do one thing, and that is to destroy and create chaos. But the monstrosity gets away and flies off in a escape pod, and of course, ends up in Earth. In Earth, the thing, encounters a little girl named Lilo. Lilo, Lilo, uh, Lilo. I think that's his name. um, and Lilo likes the little thingy, thinking it's a dog, and adopts it and calls her Stitch, Lilo and Stitch. And at first, Stitch uses Lilo as a cover, so it doesn't get caught by the intergalactic police, if you will, because the aliens do get to go to Earth and try to find this thing. But eventually, he does grow up. It does grow a relationship with this girl and the girl's family, and a bunch of shit happens. And family bond, whatever, boo hoo. um, so yeah, that's the plot of the story. Um, so yeah, like I said, I was very intrigued about this movie because, like I said, it was a movie that my parents watched. My parents put me to see over and over again. I apparently loved that movie. I was curious about this movie, and now that I've seen it, um, I understand and I don't understand why I would watch it again as a kid at the same time. I understand, like I don't understand because this isn't my favorite Disney movie, not by a fucking long shot. If I like, if I would like the most, I would put it as a Disney movie, like one of my favorites. I would maybe put it in my top 10, and maybe. Uh, so yeah, and so this isn't really that special of a Disney movie, aside from apparently being um, one of the most successful, which I guess I kind of understand because Stitch is kind of cute and kind of chaotic, which kids love. So I do kind of understand, and but I also understand because it is a very simple yet effective movie. And watching it now as a 14-year-old who kind of has an understanding about movies, um, I really enjoyed it. Um, like I said, I don't think it's a great, awesome movie. Like this isn't fucking um, like this isn't goddamn Beauty and the Beast or Fantasia or any of the Pixar movies or whatever. However, this is a very simple, delightful, heartwarming movie. Um, are there great things into it? Are there great things in it? Yes, and surprisingly, it's not what you think. Like, uh, like maybe a lot of people may think, ooh, the aliens must be the highlight, right? And while some people like to think that, they do think that the aliens are the best part, the humans, in my opinion, are amazing. Lilo is probably one of the best kid characters, which is weird. It's me saying it because me saying this from a movie that I barely even remember. And now I've seen it, Lilo is a pretty interesting character because um, I really like her character because she acts like a kid, like an actual kid, and I found it to be very refreshing, especially from Disney. And not only that, I also really related to her. At least I myself saw me as a kid relate to her because Lilo isn't just like a bland, generic, ooh, I like this thing this thing that looks like a dog because dogs are cute, right? No, Lilo is weird. She's kind of violent. She's kooky. She's all around pretty fucking weird. And guess what? I, as a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old bastard, I was weird, violent, kooky, just all around very strange motherfucker. and and not only that, but a lot of kids are that. A lot of kids are very weird and can get very violent. And yeah, so I really enjoy Lilo's character, especially in this very tragic relationship that he has with her sister, which what I remember from when I watched it as a kid, I thought it was her mother. Like I thought her sister, I think her name is Nina, I think that's her name. I thought her character was Lilo's mom. And now that I saw this movie, I noticed that I completely missed the fucking point of the movie. Because Nina is not her mom, it's her sister, her older sister, who is trying her damn best to raise Lilo because sadly their parents passed away, and it is very tragic and very heartwarming. And yeah, because both of them are you do get very harsh with each other, like real families do and real brothers do. But it's also understandable because yeah, it's her sister, not her mom, and they're both very weirded out, but also have to understand and get used to this very tragic situation. I really like that, and I also really like that there was really no bad guy, or at least in the human part of the movie. There isn't really a bad guy. It's just these two girls, the sister and this little girl trying to get along after a very tragic thing. I mean, the closest thing they get to a villain is this guy who's watching them. That Nina is a good parent, but he's not a bad guy. It's just a guy who's doing her job, and again, he's not evil or anything. He's just some guy who's doing his job, and he understands the tragedy of the situation. He understands that it is difficult. He's not just some cardboard cop-out asshole who wants to tear apart the family just because I'm evil and shit. No, he understands, and just basically the human part of the movie is fantastic. I really like the human part, and I really love Lilo. I love the sisters, and yeah, and the alien part is okay. Well, not okay. It is good. It is serviceable, good, and kind of ironic, seeing how the point of the movie was that Stitch ended up being the most important, but apparently the sisters were way more memorable. Sorry. But yeah, the alien stuff, it's good. It can be fun at times. Stitch, it is a very weird character and a very unique character. I mean, it is this very psychotic, sadistic creature who just trying to, at the end of the day, he's just trying to know what his purpose is and trying to get someone who likes him. Or okay, at first he just wants to destroy things, but after like halfway through the movie, he's like, yeah, like what the hell? I just want a family, yo. So yeah, you do grow to like Stitch. He is a very unique character, and the relationship with him and Lilo, as well as even the sister, is pretty strong. The rest of the villains are okay, I guess. I mean, the quote unquote villain, which technically is this guy who just isn't really, again, it isn't really just a villain. It's just a guy who takes his job way too seriously. The guy who ends up trying to capture Stitch, or at least tries to. He's okay. I mean, I guess. I mean, I do hear that in the sequel, in the infamous Disney sequels, that the Lilo Stitch franchise, because apparently there is a franchise. I actually do remember it. I do remember, apart from this movie, I also remember seeing the sequels. Uh, so so yeah, I do hear that the characters do grow. The alien characters do grow, but at least from this as a standalone movie, they're pretty. Aside from Stitch, and aside from Stitch, yeah, they're pretty okay. They aren't really memorable. I mean, the design is good. I like the design. I like the ships, and even the space. The little space battle they have at the beginning is pretty fun. So yeah, the animation. Now that I'm talking about it, it's pretty damn good. It is one of the it is what's considered one of the last hand-drawn animated movies, at least from Disney. I mean, I think I don't remember any movie that came out after Lilo and Stitch that was hand-drawn. I mean, I do remember The Princess and the Frog, which is as of now the last one. I do remember Enchanted having a hand-drawn animation part to it, but that's because it was a satire of Disney movies. And I do think there were a couple, like maybe two or three more after that before Pixar and eventually Disney's 3D animation completely took over, as well as DreamWorks and even kind of Blue Sky and Sony and shit like that. So yeah, they do the animation. So animation is pretty good. I do like the design of the. I like the design of the design of the humans. They look a lot more realistic compared to a lot of the designs that humans have in a lot of Disney movies, at least the past ones. The aliens have a very unique design. I like the design of the aliens and their ships. Hawaii looks pretty good. They do go back to water, like this very water like backgrounds that a lot of Disney movies, all Disney movies use, and it looks pretty good. It does give the movie a unique identity. Um, so yeah, everything seems perfectly good about this movie, except for the little tooth, except for the human part, which is absolutely outstanding. So yeah, and the score is pretty good. I do like the score being very laid back and Hawaiian, which the movie does take place in Hawaii. Which again, I do kind of like this place in Hawaii, so that we can get some new locations from Disney to kind of draw. And yeah, that's I really was surprised with this movie. It was pretty heartwarming. It was pretty good. It's strangely enough, and kind of just to put it in kind of just to like make it came full circle, like a very weird but poetic circle. I would watch it again. It will be like to kill some time, or even just to for curiosity, like, yeah, let's watch that movie again, just because. And yeah, I was entertained. Problems with the movie. I mean, like I said, the aliens are kind of okay. The pacing can be a little weird sometimes, and yeah, but other than that, it's a perfectly good movie. If you're curious about it, I say check it out. You will be entertained. Would you? Like I said, will I watch it again? Strangely enough, yes. Just because it's such a simple yet lovable story. So yeah, as like like if I'll give it a rating, I will give it a 7 out of 10. But just because the human part is so good, I would think it will go even higher. I think I would put it like an 8 out of 10. Like I do really think the human part is that good. So yeah, so some pretty good animation, pretty the human characters are pretty awesome, and the aliens are pretty okay. Aside from Stitch, which I think Stitch can be kind of fun. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I get you could watch it and have fun, and I think you would enjoy it. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it about this stream. It was so yeah. That's about it for this stream. I had really fun doing this. I really like rambling about movies and just talking about them because I love film so much. And this was pretty fun. I will do it again. I do want to stream a random game I like to play just to have fun with you guys. So yeah, I think that will be it for this stream. If anybody's watching, thank you so much for sticking around. Yeah, so if you want to, like, when the next time I do this, you want to, like, give me an opinion or an argument on a movie, please do. I do love rambling about this, and although it will make the streams way longer than that. I mean, I think I've been talking for like an hour or two, or like Jesus fuck. So yeah, I think that so yeah, please give me your thoughts so we could discuss. It would be interesting. So yeah, that was about it. I hope I could do this more in the future. And thank you so much for sticking around. This has been the movies of the month. So yeah, I hope you had a good ass time, and I'll see you later when I stream again. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys, and I'll see you in the next stream I do. I'm sorry for the very unprofessional work. I know the only thing you have been seeing is my voice and this little thing that appears when you're streaming on a PlayStation. But I'm sorry. I wish I could do a PS camera thing, but I don't have a camera, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, I hope I could do this a lot more dynamic and just talk about more movies because I love film so much. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you later. Take care and goodbye. Bye. Again, bye, bye, bye. Just get the fuck out of here. I'm just gonna get out of here. I have to eat. So yeah, bye.